Alright, mics are going up.
Good morning. Time for us to talk sports and talk about the Liverpool and Man U matches. Amongst all the stories we treat this morning. You're listening to The Locker Room here on Smooth Breakfast and Smooth 98.1 is with Ayo
And Valentine.
and Tega Supreme. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Brutalistics.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Tega.
You didn't wait, put your hands down.
A cool election.
Oh wow.
Let me a cool too.
Send us your messages through WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. You can also tweet at us at Smooth981FM with the hashtag LockerRoom981. So a 128 to 115 loss to the Anthony Davis-less New Orleans Pelicans left LeBron James questioning whether his Los Angeles Lakers teammates had the experience to grasp the challenge at hand and help the franchise qualify for the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. James asked, how many know what's at stake if you've never been here or have never been there? I'm playing devil's advocate, he says. It's kind of a fine line when you talk about that, because when you've never been there or know what it takes to actually shoot for something like that, sometimes you're afraid to get uncomfortable. So you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, he said. So I'm not saying that's what we are as a whole. It kind of looks that way at times, that sometimes we're afraid to be uncomfortable and kind of get out of our comfort zone and kind of, have the sense of urgency from the jump and not be afraid to actually go out and fail to succeed. So I mean, we have 23 games left. We'll see what happens.
Yes, this is an unfamiliar position for LeBron. So the Lakers, I think, are now 10th in the standings, and they need to be top 8 to make the playoffs. And LeBron had, the team, when he came back and told the team, look, we have to push to get to the playoffs. Lakers haven't been in playoffs in 6 years. So he's right. So most people don't know what it means to be in the playoffs. And so he's saying, let's push and try to get to the playoffs. And then they go and play against a New Orleans that doesn't have Anthony Davis, their star player, and they can't even push for the win. And so he's saying, look, they don't know what to shoot for because they've never been there. Perhaps if you've been in the playoffs before, you know the energy, you know the urgency, you know the frenzy. You bring that attitude into the playoffs push. But because they've not been there before, so they don't know what to aim for. Now there are a few players like the likes of Rajon Rondo that know exactly what it is to be in the playoffs and have also won the playoffs. But when you look at the bulk of that team, the young guys, the Lonzo Balls, the Kyle Kuzmas, the Brandon Ingram, they're just looking at it like, why are we? It's not doing that now. Why are we rushing? Why are we pushing? And I guess that's what he's talking about. But that's the team he signed up for, and so that's the team he's going to have to work with, unfortunately. So, like he said, there are 23 games left. Let's see how they do it.
Let's watch and see. All right, now the Tigers bounce back with 72-59 win over CAR. This is, basketball in America now, back home in Africa. Nigeria's senior men basketball team, the Tigers, bounced back from defeat to Cote d'Ivoire with a 72-59 win over Central African Republic in the 2019 FIBA World Cup qualification encounter played at the weekend. The Tigers suffered their first loss of their campaign to Cote d'Ivoire on Friday, February 22, which was their first defeat in 10 qualification games. Nigeria's the Tigers have already booked a place at the FIBA World Cup.
Yeah, and I guess, well, they've booked a place at the FIBA World Cup, but they still need to put up some showing, and they didn't do that against Cote d'Ivoire. It didn't look good. Against CR, they did come back with a fight, and then they go to play against Senegal and lose. So you're looking at the World Cup where you want the country to cheer for you, you want everybody to be hopeful, and then you're losing because you've qualified. I don't get it. So there's something off about the whole team itself, and I want to pretend that it's because they've already qualified, so there's no urgency and there's no push. But it was who was going to finish at the top of the group that was the reason they played Senegal. So if you can't fight for top of the group, how do you fight for good position at the World Cup? It's just not hopeful for. I'm not
So,
excited.
So there are chances at the World Cup.
We'll watch.
I said World
We
Cup.
will watch now. That's what we will watch. We don't know.
Forgive me now.
Your expression is interesting.
He's making it worse for us. His expression is making it worse.
Yes, he is.
Belinda Bencic upsets world number 4 Petra Kvitova to win the Dubai Championships, her 3rd WTA title. Now Switzerland's Bencic ranked 45th to beat the Czech 6-3, 1-6, 6-2 to claim her first WTA title since 2015. In Bencic's words, she says, "It's amazing. This is amazing. I just try to put as many balls back as possible to create pressure. I feel great. We worked a lot on my fitness, so maybe that was the secret."
Yeah, I think it was just the stamina, and then she was hitting cleanly. But for Petra Kvitova, there's something off about her. It's the same way she played against Naomi Osaka. She got back into the game in the second set, and then the third set, a lot of errors. And you know how when you come back from a period out with injury or whatever, it's almost as if when you get to the finals, you're like, am I here immediately? Like you didn't expect to be there, so you're not really prepared for it. So there's something about this is her second final.
Yeah.
Her second consecutive final, and it's the same thing that happened, the same errors. She couldn't find her first serve, she couldn't find her range. So there's something off about Kvitova. But for Bencic, that her stamina is getting better because she just looks like someone that's going to, after the second set, she always looks like she's going to just crumple and fall. But this time she looked like she was ready to fight. And so maybe that partnership that she has with Roger Federer just pre-season is really helping her game when it comes to her own to singles tennis. You think that she's a good player. She has a few things in her arsenal, but sometimes she just doesn't have that strategy or game plan, and that's where it falls off for her. This time it worked out. I don't know how it will come out for her in the majors. Never really. She's a bit inconsistent.
All right, basketball, tennis, now on to football, and Kepa apologizes to Sarri. I didn't mean to disobey the Chelsea boss. Let's find that out. Kepa Arrizabalaga apologized for refusing to obey Maurizio Sarri's order for him to be substituted for Willy Caballero during extra time of Chelsea's agonizing penalty shootout defeat against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. Now, this is what he had to say. I have to say it was misunderstood. In no moment was it my intention to disobey or anything like that to my boss. Just that it was misunderstood because I had been attended to by the medics twice and he thought that I wasn't in the condition to continue. It was 2 or 3 minutes of confusion until the medics got to the bench and they explained everything well. This was nothing to do with the problems I had this week with my hamstring. It wasn't that. And well, it was misunderstood again because it thought I couldn't continue, and fundamentally I was trying to say that physically I was fine. Brutally sick.
This is
okay,
everything. He's quiet, but let me take it.
All right.
First of all, this is a good PR story. So Sarri was first to come out and say that it was no. First of all, we have to congratulate Man City. Congratulations, Manchester City, for losing Laporte and Fernandinho in a Manchester City final in the Carabao Cup. They've won the trophy now, but they've lost 2 important players, and they have a push this week and next week for the EPL title. So I don't know how that's going to work out for them, but congratulations on winning penalty shootout. But let's get to Kepa. Now Kepa, I understand this part where he says he was struggling with fitness and Sarri was trying to change him, but this is the medics didn't go to the bench to tell Sarri anything. This is Sarri and Zola having a hissy fit because they've been calling a certain young boy to come off the pitch and the boy just refused to come up. And I think now the story is going to be like they thought he wasn't fit and so they wanted to change him. But I think what they wanted to do was, it was a penalty shootout. Willy Caballero was a better penalty shootout keeper. And teams do it all the time. I remember in the early 2000s, they used to do it with what's his name, that our former national team coach. Anyway, people will know who he is. Vincent Yama. So when it's time for penalty, they switch their goalkeepers, and it always worked. This is what I think Sarri wanted to do. He wanted Caballero to come on. It's a penalty shootout. Kepa, go and sit down. Nchakwa, Kepa refused to come off the pitch. That's he stayed there. And for me, this is a public display of the fact that Sarri has lost that respect in the team. And if nothing else should get him fired, this should get him
But
fired.
who should get the penalty? Would you think that Kepa would be penalized for this?
How do you penalize somebody that is the most expensive goalkeeper in the world?
So that
And
gives
even if you know, but even if you
yeah.
even if you penalize him, what this shows is that the players are not listening to the coach.
Yeah.
So the coach can no longer manage that team. Hence, he needs to go.
And what's worrying about is, okay, let us say you misunderstood. You saw your coach. Wait, there's a captain on that field.
The captain doesn't do anything. Aspilicueta.
You saw your manager and every other person telling this guy to get up.
Yeah.
You saw your
You
fellow
know, beckoned
teammates.
on him to move.
What do you do as a captain? You follow what your boss is, and you didn't.
You
There's
didn't.
a problem.
Aspilicueta
There is
stood
a
there. It
problem.
was only David Luiz that was trying to negotiate with Kepa.
Negotiating.
Negotiate with
No more
Kepa.
negotiating.
I wish it was
like
Conte.
Tega said, we have to go. We have to go. We'll be right back after this break. And the locker room still continues.
Hey,
Honestly,
Conte would have
I cannot-
dragged him by the balls.
I cannot
Like,
believe-
Conte would get on the pitch.
He will
Don't
enter
grab
the
him.
pitch. or imagine Gattuso.
Hey, they just
You
die.
have died.
Their father.
Just stay in that field, though.
Just stay in that field.
Stay, lock the stadium and stay there. You have
I can
died.
imagine Gattuso.
No, even Sarri was incandescent. You could see his rage.
Zola
You
that
could
doesn't
see
talk.
the
Zola that
rage.
is
Smiles is
that is
the
the
only
United
person.
Nations. He was angry. Zola that is the United Nations. You're not coming to tell me story about they're not sure about my fitness. Ah yeah, you should have tried this with Alex Ferguson. It's from there that you'll be fired. It's from there.
No, because this is the insolency. No. Because
It just shows that
can't
Sarri
even-
has no respect in that dressing room. As Filiqueta didn't even go to tell the guy that look,
Look, exactly.
get off the pitch. It was David Luiz that was even talking to him that
If
coach is calling you. Coach is calling
if
you.
I'm sorry, I'll just get up today. Pack my load.
And be going.
Mona keep on at it.
There's no respect
There's
left.
but Chelsea in particular, the playing staff have become too powerful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Chelsea, right?
This is the
They've
third.
always been.
This is the third or fourth time that they have done this to managers.
Mm.
You put managers in a position where their position is no longer tenable. They've effectively sacked this guy because the short answer is this guy can't control. He has no control.
Yes, he has no control over the dressing room. That's what it means. That he has no power in the dressing, no authority. So what
So
are
the
we
only
doing?
person I think they should bring back Mourinho because it seems like that's the only person that can handle the.
Yeah, and then after one season, another new team.
Look, Mourinho is not there for long. I like Mourinho's style. He's not there for long term. He win one, collect his
Sign
severance pay,
contract, sign a healthy
and
contract.
go and give his children a good life. I want to be Mourinho's girlfriend.
But you know, I think that they won't be able to try. There's some things they won't be able to try with Mourinho. Because he himself is a madman.
No.
Wait. Let us pause. This last sack that he got, what happened? Is it not? He just took one player, taking out one player, Hazard. That was all, and the results went in.
No.
Look at.
He won't have been able to try these things. They want to be able to do these things. What they will do is that they will get on the pitch and they will not
Not
play.
play.
That's the difference. But for this one to openly stand on the pitch,
Yeah.
I say you should come out. Mourinho, game is over. No penalty now till you come out. If not, he doesn't have any goalkeeper. No penalty. What are you saying? Someone that can sit down in the morning and bench cover. I'm sorry. He said, let me lose my job and bench him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what he
That's
did.
what I'm saying.
He
So
lost
myself
his
is
job and
like-
benched him. Cannot happen.
Kepa will be training on his own, not even with the youth team. That's outside the
Yes.
outside the training
I'm
ground.
not training ground.
That's
Training.
you have the training ground. You'll be out in the car park. Go and train in the car park.
Alright, we're
There
coming
is
back
no
now.
excuse. There is nothing. There's no
Come
way
back
you
with a
sell
message
this.
or two.
We have one on WhatsApp and one on Twitter, so I'll take that. Mike's going up now. This is Lagos and this is Smooth 98.1 and we are live in the locker room with Tega and Brutalistics. Good morning.
Good morning.
Alright, we're taking stories in basketball, tennis, football, and before we went on the break, we were talking about what happened with Kepa and Sarri. Alright, if you'd like to send your messages in to weigh in on this topic or any of the sports topic we're taking this morning, please send to WhatsApp on 0809 4440981 or on Twitter at Smooth981FM and use the hashtag LockerRoom981. We have this comment here from WhatsApp. Chinwe Nancy says, If Sari said the incident was a misunderstanding between him and Kepa, so why all the whole drama as if he was furious? Why the defense and why the whole drama? Chimere asking the same questions. Alright, then Chimere also went on further to say, to be frank, I agree with Mikel Obi. Chelsea have lost their leadership values. Both the coach and players have all lost. This is not good for a team who is struggling to be in top four. And then moving on to Twitter, we have this one here from Hussein CFC Aiden at AH1 underscore CFC. Congrats to Man City. Club should be hung if Liverpool don't end up winning the league.
So we don't hang people here. No jungle justice, no such thing.
Thank you very much, Tega, for clarifying that. Alright, now talking about the Liverpool story, that's what we have up next. Liverpool dropped 2 points in Manchester United draw club. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp said he saw the 0-0 draw at Manchester United on Sunday as 2 points dropped, but added that the injury problems suffered by United had disrupted his side's flow. It was a strange game, he said. I think we started really, really well. We started exactly like we wanted to start, and then the injury crisis started as well. That obviously cost us the rhythm today. It was like, oh, what's going on now? At the end, we have to admit that United played with a completely new midfield, a pretty much new three up front. We lost the rhythm and we couldn't get back.
What?
Yeah. Somebody else had injury. You're the one that was swallowing the Panadol. I'm not in this kind of man.
Okay, all right, okay. I can't believe that he just said that. Really. So a team has 3 injuries within the first 45 minutes, and you didn't see that as an advantage. And coming into that game, there were already some key players. Martial was out, and I think they lost Matic just before the game. So this, to all intents and purposes, would have been an opportunity for you to hold on, perform, and get your 3 points. And Liverpool were a complete shadow of themselves. And what's worrying is that they had all the aces in their. They had their star players on. I think they lost Roberto Firmino briefly, but you cannot then tell me that you do not have the quality. At the heart of it, and I'd been tracking some Liverpool fans' comments in terms of his selection for the midfield for a game that you want to win, where you require some creativity and penetration. Was that midfield combination probably the best that you could put on the table? Many Liverpool fans will argue not. This was effectively your game in hand on Liverpool, on Manchester City, and an opportunity for you to get back to some measure of point differential. You're 1 point ahead of them now. Manchester City would see this after their very important their victory in the Carabao Cup, and saying this is our chance, having closed down a 7-point gap, beating you guys, and effectively put you under pressure. To all intents and purposes, Liverpool have crumbled under the pressure that Manchester City have created in closing the gap and going ahead. Bar the injuries and bar any Crystal Palace-like performances from Manchester City. When you look at the fixture list, the next 6 games that Manchester City has, they're perfectly winnable, enough for them to coast on this and create more pressure for Liverpool. If Liverpool do not win the league, it is down to the players and the managers' inefficiencies when they had the opportunity to take this by the scruff of their neck. This was a performance of champions. I'm sorry.
My goodness. All right, now this we have comments, of course, coming in. We'll take one more story and then we'll take some of your reactions on WhatsApp. Please keep them coming. Very shortly we'll get to them. Now, Bale penalty gives below par Real win at Levante. Real Madrid's Gareth Bale came off the bench and coolly converted a controversial penalty to secure a 2-1 win at Levante in La Liga on Sunday as the European champion broke their luck to stay within 9 points of leaders Barcelona. Real came under heavy pressure early on, but Karim Benzema gave them the lead towards the end of the first half from the spot at a penalty was correctly awarded for handball by Ines Badi following a video assistant referee review.
Yes, so this is another game that Real Madrid, some would say the VAR is working for Real Madrid, but it was a penalty. Yes, he did put up his hand to protect his face, but his hand was so far away from his body. It was in the penalty box. Don't put your hands up. Put your hands beside you. You can take it in the face, but you cannot take it on your hand. And so clean penalty. But Levante played Real Madrid off the park. And if you ask me, that second penalty, it was questionable in every sense. And the one that baffled me the most, and I think Neymar would have been very proud of Casemiro, because Casemiro was standing with his 2 feet planted on the ground, and then the slightest of touches, I think it was the hair of the opposition player that touched Casemiro's leg. Casemiro, that was planted on the ground firmly with his 2 feet, leaped in the air and then somersaulted. It was like air Casemiro took off. It was something worthy of an Oscar. Unfortunately, we're in the totally different sport. And the referee looked at that and said, penalty. With VAR, penalty. It was ridiculous. But they've gotten all 3 points. They're now 9 points behind Barcelona, who played a horrible game on Saturday, but have the good luck of having a little man called Messi. Messi single-handedly put Barcelona on his back.
Messi.
Players, board, and coach,
All
and
his
got them.
goals.
I'm telling you,
All his goals were like just
you
phenomenal.
had to bow for them.
Phenomenal.
And then scored that goal and then created one chance for Suarez to feel good about himself. That's how good he is. Atletico Madrid did the job. Morata scored, yes. Chelsea, Morata scored with his leg this time, not the head. So maybe the jazz is in Spain.
It's in Spain, right? All right, let's look at some of your messages here. We have a few of them actually. We'll try to take as many as we can this morning. This one here is from Big T. Big T says, how can Liverpool, Manchester United and the rest all play scoreless draws? Please tell the chef in England we are now tired of draw soup. That's Dry Jokes Monday. But thank you very much. Victor side, this Liverpool team do not have the steam to win the Premier League. Klopp had all the time in the world to beat a 10-man team as Rashford was injured as all through. Now they will end trophyless again. Do you think so? Alright, Ugo says Liverpool is overachieving with a weaker squad. The advantages they do not take were created by the so-called best team in the land, Man City. Please let my children be. Even if they don't win the league, eventually we're proud of them.
Okay, that's a Liverpool fan, yeah.
Alright, okay, we have one here. Ewo Mazino from Lakeview Estate Amo says, it's a shame to Liverpool. If it was my Man U that had opportunities, we would have won Liverpool. Salah was kept quiet by Shaw, Pereira and Scout. He played very well, and kudos to Pogba. Ole is really doing a great work.
Apart from when he faces PSG.
Yeah. Alright, we'll take a few more of your comments here as well. We have Lukman here. Lukman says, good morning, Brutalistics. Don't analyze the Liverpool performance so much, and you and Tega know Liverpool can't win the league. Matches to come, either Henderson, Matip, or Vigil will will still score own goals to give City the lead. Look like Jabode is not even smiling. Then MI from Makoka says, apparently Kepa and Pogba are in the same WhatsApp group. Was distasteful, and I hope he gets the stick. When will Barcelona change to Messi FC? All in favor say aye.
Nay.
Yeah. Alright, now Victor from Alaba says that congrats to Manchester City for lifting their first trophy this season, while for Kepa, Sarri should just bench him for that unruly behavior last night. But the truth is that will Sarri be bold enough to take that decision? Help me ask Auntie Tega. And Tega, the ball is in your court. Alright, Tayo says, Tayo from Yaba says, Kepa as Chelsea manager lost his final. I was a bit confused there. Lost his first final. How do I show such disrespect to my coach and write on paper that it was a misunderstanding? Misunderstanding firearm there. Sarri is too relaxed with these boys, and this is a bad precedent, and other players will do the same. I wonder how many hours he would use to talk to Kepa before the next game. Alright, our time is far spent. Unfortunately, we cannot take any more of your comments nor any of the stories. But thank you all so much for being our analyst this morning. Thank you. Well, we're not going actually. We'll still take some of your comments. We still have 2 more stories to go. And if we come back and we have a few more minutes, we'll take some of your comments as well. But hey guys, still in the studio as well as Brutalistics. We're still very much in the locker room. Don't forget, send your messages to 0809 444 0981 or on Twitter at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag LockerRoom981. This is Smooth 98.1.
On station.
I was like, no, don't worry, still F14. I was like, no, you still.
No break.
I know, I got it. Thank you. Oh, great. So we can still take just one. So which one of the one?
Which one is there? Which one?
There's Arsenal and then Fiorentina.
Let's take Fiorentina.
Yeah. Let's talk about Arsenal winning the match.
They'll be alright.
It's not funny.
We'll talk
it's
about
not
them on
fair.
Wednesday
It's
again.
not fair. That's my husband's team. Oh. When we win, when they win, we all win.
So we have to talk about Italian Serie A.
Yeah, true. We have done them. Yeah, we've done them.
La Liga, yeah. We've done Premier League, La Liga.
So is it Jordan Veretout?
Yes. Just pronounce it as you
As
see.
seen. Danilo D'Ambrosio. Yeah, I know that one. Matthias Vecino. Okay, it's double C, that's cheese. Matteo Politano and Ivan Perisic. You see? Why did you do
No, that one is Italian, the other one is Croatian.
Okay, Ivan Perisic. Oh, Stefan De Vrij.
It's okay. Just do it.
Stefan De Vrij.
Just do De Vrij.
Thank you. I have to let them know it's salty. You know, these people are very savage.
Trust me.
That's why they send WhatsApp message now. Who's that girl that doesn't even know how to pronounce it?
You'll be shocked. They'll be saying, that girl is teaching us how to pronounce it.
Not the football
This
people
man
that are
couldn't hold his
listening.
head. Is that how
No, he's been working since Saturday. Oh.
I don't think they knew they were going to be on TV. If Banky win in this place,
I think he did really well, but you know they're trying to.
Of course, that is all to change. That is all to change.
They should. I pray that they are fair.
They're all youth. Plus the money plus him, they're all
But
youth.
youth are different from youth.
No, but
Youth
he's
that has the blood of the old is not you. If you're a youth and you're still
I beg you, 36. What are youth there?
no, it's not about youthfulness. We are looking at the reason
They
why
keep
we
saying
want.
all the youths came out, all the youths came out. I'm like, bitch, shut up. This guy is 1 year younger than you are. I don't think they're writing Lagos one at the bottom. They are reading it out.
These ones are probably being announced.
Speak to our business concierge on 0700 Providence today.
Hello everyone, I'm Kabamza Suko.
Okay.
Baba, okay.
I think about melody.
We don't have time for that news.
Rhythm structure.
For that news.
Music is life. Music
Okay.
is everything I do.
Yes,
we have-
43. We have 2
we have
minutes.
2 minutes.
Just be reading their messages.
Mike's up. Just the story, right?
Their messages.
Yes, indeed. It's your love music, love life station here in Smooth 98.1 FM. But this time we are in the locker room, and I have with me Tega and Brutalistics.
Yeah.
All right, Lagos, we have touched on stories from the Premier League, from La Liga. We have gone to basketball, tennis, and now it's time to just take your comments as we call it a day. Here we have on WhatsApp. Don't forget for next time 0809 444 0981. We love for you to be a part of the discussion. Big T here says Chelsea Kepa. Oh right, okay. So I've taken that one already. Now we go on to Real One Agumbiade who says. From Akoka who says Kepa openly did to Sarri what Pogba and some of his mates did to Jose on a coded level. Players are now so powerful. In the days of Ferguson, flying boots, this wasn't possible. All right, Kenny Ihut Tugay says, I knew Liverpool would pull a Liverpool on Liverpool this season. All right, so there's a Liverpool. You can pull a Liverpool.
Yeah.
All right, then we have here, Muyiwa says, Manchester United played with heart and grit despite all the injuries. If only Lingard and Smalling had taken their chances though. Oh well. Also, my daughter was born on Friday. Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, Muyiwa. Unfortunately, you didn't put her name, so we can't say her name.
Yeah.
So Ziggy from VI says, so no praise for Ole Gunnar and Manchester United for managing the game against Liverpool. Shall we give them the accolades? Alright, take that things not. Alright. Sherry from Lagos Island says, the game between Man U and Liverpool was an anticlimax. Liverpool should have taken advantage of the injuries to Man U. And our final message from here, Victor from Alaba International says, this Liverpool team is not serious at all. With all the injury in Manchester United in the first half, they couldn't capitalize on them. I am ashamed on behalf of Jurgen Klopp and his team. Locker Room 981. All right, thank you all so much for being such a fab team with us here on the Locker Room 981. I have with us, joining us, of course, Tega Supreme. Follow her on Twitter at Tega Supreme. And of course, if you'd like to find out what she's doing with ladies in sports, follow LIS International. And Brutalistics is on Twitter at
But I'm rude.
But alright, you can follow him on Twitter and follow us at Smooth 91 FM. We're going to quick break right now. When we come back, we shall be time for Lagos Talks 981. We'll be looking at Tinubu and his